All right. Uh, this is a follow-up to a video that I made to a few friends of mine that I want to go over some mods, especially with the new release of the Worlds Part 2 update. That's changed a lot of the mods, and it's changed everything with the way the mods go in. They're no longer in pack files. So I want to cover some of that and then show some of the mods, but one in particular, I really want to show the difference just this one mod makes the colors in the game. All right, so let me get rid of this and turn this other one on. All right, so this is the Nexus Mods website. And when you come here, you can always do a search. What I normally do is just NMS Nexus Mods updated, and it'll bring me to the updated tab here. And you can see that these all dropped today, the 4th of February, right? And if you scroll down here to the bottom of the section, there's more stuff here, but you just want to click this view more updated. And then it gives you these pages that you can move across. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move across to page, I believe it's page 12 is as far as the newest mods. So you can see here 29 January was the release of the Worlds Part 2 update. If I come here to pay, okay, it's 13. Down here at the bottom, see 22. So yeah, 29 here, 28 here. So this will not work. Anything older here won't. Anything from the 29th on to what's on page 1 will. All right. And not every one of these mods are something you're going to want to get. And some of them cause issues with another. And I just had an issue where I had to quit the game that I was in and make a change to it to where what I had, and I'll show you at the anomaly, there's some new tech that you can get that you can snap in for your launcher and for your warp engines. And having both of them in the launch, what happens is you can be on the ground 100% and won't let you launch. So I had to get rid of that. So if you want to do anything here, you've got to create an account. It's free, so just go ahead and do it. And then once you're there, it kind of keeps track of what you've looked at. And I don't use this one anymore. Natural nights I used to use, and I might go back to it. It makes the nights really, really dark on the night side of the planet. And I really thought that was cool. Black space, this is updated. But if you go and you look at this one, um, when you go to the files, 2.4 is just space black, nothing else. This is black space with nebula. And then this one here is the 2.6 version he's talking about where he completely removes stars. I want black space and nebula. And, so I'm not going to go through all of these, but I do want to go through a couple of things, and particularly the one that I've got out here. And I'm going to remove this other one, the supercharge. I'll just get rid of that now. But True Black I've got out on the desktop because I don't want it in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the game here. And after launching it, you're going to hear, well, you can see this here. This is a PowerShell script that's running at the launch of the game. And if you listen, you're going to hear 3 audible beeps here. There's the first one, second, third. And now that is done. What that is that's the PowerShell script in the background making sure that affinity is enabled and that I'm giving my course to the game. So that's running there. But then the other thing I always do when I'm in a game is I also come into my task manager and I come down here to the details and I arrange everything by memory. No Man's Sky is at the top. I come to priority, it's in above normal. I change it to high. It says, are you sure? Yeah, I want to do that. And then just closes, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and go on, and we're going to go with this save is the one that I'm working on. I've deleted more saves than I care to think of. I've got almost 5,000 hours in the game. And that first primary save there with the 2,500 hours in it almost, I think it's 2,497. That one was not my primary save. That was the first save where I got my settlement up to 200. And then I I hit a limit where I hit my build limit. I couldn't build any more bases, and if I wanted to, I had to destroy bases. And then after even destroying bases and building, I kept hitting a limit, so I just started a new save. I've started a new save and played through the storyline at least a half a dozen times. I've redone my settlement. At least this is my third settlement that I'm on 200 people. And now the reason I use mods is because I don't want to have to do everything from scratch, and they just save time. All right. So let me come up here and show you what I'm talking about with this true black mod. Okay. So you can see right here, if I stop and look, that's the color that's applied to my exosuit. And if I come over here to the appearance modifier, you can see that if I look at this, I'm on the darkest setting possible. If I change anything, it just doesn't really do anything. And see, even if I come in and click on any of these, they're already there. There's nothing. And in my opinion, that is not that bad. Well, the same thing happens. That color can be applied to your exocraft and to your starships. And so I have a bunch of starships that I had built with that black and red. But what happened is after the update came out, they converted to black, red and blue. And so what I'm going to show here is I'm going to do a couple of things right off the bat. First, we're going to fly this guy. Let's change to... because I'm also going to show you how to rebuild a starship. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to summon another. Actually, we'll do this one. What the hell? Because I'm not happy. I wanted the triple thrusters in the back, and I forgot about that. So when I built this site, it didn't happen. Now, in order for you to keep this ship the way it's rigged out, I have to take out the tech. And so you can see here in my tech loadout, I have a modem that removes the tech overload, so I can put in as many of these warp upgrades. So these are my standard, and because of the new Atlantic drive, and you know what, let me do something. Let's move this over and put this here. Okay. That's the only one you need if you want to hit all the star systems. Now, you don't need the Emerald drive, the Indium drive, or the Cadmium drive. You don't need any of those. All you need is the Atlantic drive in, and you could hit every one of the star colors, all right? But this is a new piece of tech, a legal modified warp drive, and then there was a launcher thing that I had up here that was also, it was conflicting. And so what happened is I'd show 100% on my launch thruster, but I couldn't launch. Took that out, and that works great now. And then this other thing I have in here is the waveform engine. This is part of the Starborn runner. It came with the regular pulse engine and this. I snap it into all my starships now. Not that it makes that much of a difference. None of these up here are supercharged, but you can see everything here. And everything here is all supercharged, as well as everything here is supercharged. So I've got 125,000 light year range, and I've got my maneuverability at 1201, and my damage here is 4 million damage per second. All right, so what I want to do here is while I'm sitting here in the hangar, I bring up my inventory, I scroll down to the bottom, and I start to remove my tech. And, oh, you know what? That's right. I was doing some stuff. I have a bunch of stuff here that I want to give to my brother a little bit later to help him with hunting or fishing. And, also, some of these work really great with that new nutrient injector thing that, yeah, there's a video out there, if I'm not mistaken, by HeroTube, that he talks particularly about stellar ice cream, I think it is, that if you put it in there, it boosts your flight power by some crazy 300%, 400%. So all I'm going to do is move all this stuff over into the freighter because I need to have 6 rows clear here. Actually, I can get rid of that. More oxygen than I need. Okay, so that's more than enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 6 there. Cool. So now let's start with our removal of tech, and that's the thing is, once you build these starships, you can export them using the NMS save editor, and then the great thing about that is, well, there's good and bad. You can export these built starships but because they are not native to the game, because they are using a mod for the black color, if you export them, they'll export, and all the tech will go with them. But if you try to import that ship back in, it will come in as you're seeing it now, red and blue. It will not come in black. And it might even change the halo wings to some other type of wing. It'll still be a fighter. It'll just be some other type of fighter. And the same thing will sometimes happen after an update, that you might have the ships that you have built that either change colors, or your, let's say a great example is I have a mod that lets me buy all of these ship parts at the space stations. So I can build my own version of the Iron Vulture, and instead of using the standard colors that came with it, I can make my own black and red. And I've done that. The problem is after an update, or if I export that and bring that back in, it's some other hauler. It is not the Iron Vulture. And so those are things that you're gonna learn, that as you're playing in the game and you're using the NMS save editor and you're using mods, whatever happens, that you might end up with somewhere there I misplaced something. Oh, I see what's going on. I'm missing one of, let's move that there, and this here, I'm missing one of my, this guy. Yeah, there you go. Oh. There it is. So see, this I'm going to install in the purchase starship. I could do the same thing for all of these, because these are all things that you can add on after the fact if you've unlocked them in the space anomaly, but I'd rather not have to go through provisioning those again, you know, if they need a computer, or if they need any, oh, that wasn't supposed to go, any particular item sometimes needs repair, or need cadmium or whatever elements are needed to make that active. I don't want to have to know that won't come out. This will come out. And I might just end up putting that right next to this one, so that the two chargeable ones are there together. And it doesn't really matter, because this one's going to get sold. All right. So what we're going to do is just keep removing all of this. Not that, did we? Let's move that over there. Got two more rows to bring out here. That one does not come out. So this is like anytime you're doing this, and I'm not going to record all of this, I just really kind of want to show in this video how you build the starship and then take it into the save editor to max out all the settings, and for the rest of the ships you just do the same damn thing. Alright, it's not going to be any different. And what I do is I keep my layout for all my tech consistent, to where from one ship to the next, they're all the same. There's no difference in the way that they're laid out. So all the tech is snapped into the same places, and all the same spots are supercharged. So it just makes it easier when you're building your own starships to have everything kind of loaded out the same way. Alright, so there's all my tech out and what I'm leaving in the starship. Alright, so now that I've got everything here, I'm going to go ahead and get off of this, and I'm going to fly this to the local space station. Alright. Now that's that 10 times pulse speed, which is a great thing to have. That's a part of another mod that adds atmospheric cover to any ship. And it also, you can also get that in a flavor that has, let's get to the back side, that has a reverse mode. I don't want that. I changed my key mappings in the game to where my S is always backward. On PC, you hold your S key when you get into a battle to lock on to the enemy, but then you lose that backwards functionality. W being forward, S being backward, A and D back left and right. I remapped that S function, the locking on to the target, to my, not my forward, but the back button on the left side of my mouse. I hold that down and it locks onto the target and I fire with my left mouse button. Okay, so we're at the space station. The one thing I want to make sure of, this is Blood Raven is the name of that starship. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the salvage terminal first. I have all my tech in my exosuit. Whatever, there is nothing in the inventory here that I want to lose or care about losing, and the rest of the stuff is all going to stay with the ship. So all I'm going to do is salvage this, and I should get a pretty good amount for it. Yep. Do that, and that ship is gone. So now we need to come up here to the tech eye. Now see, that's that instant actions where you saw how quickly I pressed E there. I didn't have to press and hold. I want to purchase, and I want to purchase an S-class reactor. Okay, and I leave, and I come down here, and what I'm looking for is, I want this turbine fuselage, I want the halo wings, and this time I want this tri-booster. I just think it looks better in the back of the starship. So then I walk over here, I've got all the parts I need. That is a fighter, so it's already set for fighter. I pick that fuselage. There's my core. There's my wings. There's the thruster item. So that's what it looks like right there. Alright? And you can see here, look, there's no black. What the hell is up with that? Okay, so since I've shown you now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my, well, let's jump into the Boundary Herald, because restore point. We're going to jump out, and what we're going to do is we're going to, no, I need to quit all the way to the desktop. Now, when you're working with mods, mods are loaded as the game is opening, and so this mod has to be in before I launch the game. So that's all I'm going to do is put it back in the folder, and you can see it's in here. Let me put them by name, and True Black is in there. All right. And I'm going to restart the game with that mod in the folder. That's going to put me in the space anomaly. And at the space anomaly, I'm going to go to this appearance modifier first. And I'm going to change the color of the black that's applied to my exosuit. And then I'm going to go over to build my starship, and you're going to see that now I do have a true black to build it out of, as opposed to the limited colors that I had there. So back into that same save. So this video, really all I want to do is show the impact that the True Black mod has, and then how you use the save editor to soup up your starship when you purchase it and build it. And this works for any starship you find in the wild. The benefit to finding starships in the wild is that you can take those starships into the save editor and export them, and you're pretty much guaranteed that every time you import that starship, you will get the same starship that you had previously. If it's a red and black Sentinel, it will be a red and black Sentinel, the same one that you had before. The only exception to that I have found is my living ships. I have 4 rainbow living ships in my main save. I tried to bring those into this save, and it changed its colors. So I will probably go back out and get those. But here, I'm going to go into the appearance modifier, and you can see now, look at my colors here. I'm going to go to head, and look at that. Now I have a true dark black, and I apply that black to everything, going all the way down. with the exception of the red on the back there. And with that done, what a difference. Now that's what I call black. And especially if you get an area with more light, you can really see how dark that is compared to what it was. So now let's build the ship with it. All right, so now I've got my fuselage, I've got my reactor, I've got my wings, and I've got my thruster. And there's the starship I want, but now I'm going to go black, red, black. Is that the one, or is it red, red, and black, black? Yeah, now I think that's because I have the black up top. I have more black than red this way. Does this make the back red? Yeah, I think I'm going to keep that. I want more black than red. S-class. So I'll assemble, and I'm just going to proceed and add it to my collection. All right. And then we're going to take this guy and we're going to fly it out to the freighter. And then after I dock in the freighter, figure out where the hell. Let's just go over here. Done. It's right there in the middle of nowhere. We'll go to it. Yeah, see, steering is all wonky now. When you get your starships rigged the way you want them, you will be so happy. Even the handling characteristics just kind of stuck right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go in here, and then we're going to take the, we're going to do another restore point as soon as we come out of the starship. Okay, so now that it's done, we're going to go ahead, and here you can actually quit to mode select. All right, so we're going to leave that there. Bring this up. I'm going to go to my window file explorer, and I'm going to go to the save editor, and I just double click this batch file. So if you're going to put the save editor in, you have to have Java installed. Okay, double click on the title bar for full screen. I'm going to open up that save, and here I'm going to go to ships, and that fighter is the one that I bought, and it hasn't been renamed, and I think that was Blood Raven, if I'm not mistaken, so we'll call it that. Blood Raven. All right, and we're going to make some changes here. For damage, we're going to make this at 720. We're going to change our shields here to 110. We're going to change our hyperdrive to 1000. You can put as many as you want, and then, but as soon as you click off, it's always going to go to 1000. And then here for maneuverability, on this particular starship, let's leave it at 35. Other starships, I'll go as high as 42. But for something this small, it's pretty maneuverable already, so I'm going to keep it the way it is. Now for cargo here, that's what it's giving me. I'm going to resize that. I'm going to give it all 12 rows and 10 columns across. So I've got my 120, then I just right click and tell it to enable all the slots. Bam, I've got 120 storage. Now I go to tech. And this is where the real magic happens. You do the same thing, resize inventory. You tell it you're going to go 6 high and 10 wide for your 60 spots. And I'm going to get rid of this photon cannon, all right, because I don't use it. My deflector shield goes here. Oh, I have to enable those slots first. Yeah, so this is going to go over here. This guy's going to go right there. And I'm actually going to end up removing that. So let's just delete it now. Hyperdrive is going to go here. Launch thruster is going to stay where it's at. And the pulse engine is going to go right there. Now you can see my 4 supercharged slots. Well, I don't give a shit. We're not going to use those. We're going to supercharge them all. And then we're going to turn off these top 2 rows here and 5 across. So these 10 on the left side will not be supercharged. And you got to be really careful when you do this, because the supercharged slot to turn it, the switch to turn it on and off, and the supercharge all slots are right next to each other. And if you're in a hurry, by a mistake you hit that supercharge all slots, then you're going to supercharge everything you just unsupercharged. So go slow, take your time. It's okay if you hit a repair all slots, but if you hit that supercharge all slots, you're going to have to do it all over again. Right? So now I've got what I want. I've got these 15 here and these 20 on this side, all good to go. All right. And this is only for these 9 are for my Infraknife, and the rest are all for my X-Class upgrades and the other upgrades for my warp drive. I don't supercharge the rest of this. With that being done, this is the way I want this starship. All I have to do is save and then exit. That's the JavaScript shutting down. I can close this window. I can go back into the game, and notice there's no more save data here. It doesn't show where I'm at. Whenever you make a change to the save with the save editor, it blanks this. All right. Doesn't mean it can't load. Just it doesn't show you where you are, like I'm on my freighter right now, which should say Annihilation for the name, where my freighter in my original save is called Dark Seed. And I say original save, that's like my 3rd save. The rest are gone, and then I don't keep my expedition saves. There's no point. Okay, so now that I'm here, I look at my starship, and holy boy, I've got all the supercharged slots I want, and everything's where I want it. So now all I have to do is come back over here and just reinstall everything. Just drop it into the appropriate slot. Myself a little bit better situated here. I have my keyboard drawer in a good distance, and I ended up I keep tapping my finger up against the my keyboard drawer slides out, and so my finger kept hitting the desktop above it. Now as I snap these in here, you can watch my warp range over there keep increasing for each one that I snap in. See? Now, the thing to keep in mind with these starships, and this is something to keep in mind when it comes to mods as a whole, mods are for you. Mods are to improve your gameplay and your experience, to make it, to increase your enjoyment of it, of all that. So I'm going to tell you right up front, nobody is going to see what kind of starship you're running with, what colors they are. They're not going to see it, and so they will not care if you tell them again and again and again that, man, mine is red and black, take a look. They're not going to see it. They're going to see the red and black, and that's all they're going to see. So when it comes to mods, mods is for you and you alone, nobody else. All right. So that's something to keep in mind, that this is not intended for other people to see. It's only for you to see in the game. All right. So with that in mind, the same thing comes with the way your starship handles. Now that, with mine being supercharged, I won't say it's not the same thing. If I meet my brother who plays on a PlayStation 5, so on a PS5, he has his starship maxed out as well as he can. But if him and I end up doing something where we're flying together, I quickly leave his starship in the dust, because with the mods, mine can move. So, and actually, there's one there that's missing. That's this guy. I always snap that in these days. And there I am. I'm done. I have the starship the way I want, in the colors that I want. Not that blue anymore. Now it's the red and the black that I want. That was called that one Blood Raven. What is this guy here? Now see, that's somebody else. That's this guy that just landed here. It looks like mine, but his is all in red. So, little difference. Does he have the... No, he has the box on the back. And I like it more with the... For me, it's just that jet lights up with each side, and then the open part on the top. I like that, as opposed to the circular one. So now let's see what we've got this guy here. Alright. That was Blood Raven. This is Blood Eagle. You can see that this is the same thing, but this is a droid ship. So here, I'd want to do the same thing on this one and take all the tech out and move it into my exosuit, and then fly back out to the space station, salvage the starship, purchase and build a starship with the parts that I build, and that'll be it. Then come back and go into the save editor and supercharge everything, and then come back in and snap all my tech in. For right now, the one thing I do want to finish with, and then we'll go from here, is the new Wraith. So this is the new Raid starship, or the upcoming expedition. This is available through a mod, and what that mod does, I'll show you. Well, there's a space anomaly. We'll just go there. Alright, so what this mod does is it allows you just to go to the Quicksilver vendor in the space anomaly and claim all of the expedition rewards right now. No waiting. So the starship is there for you to claim, and all it is one stinking mod. So I've only seen one other person in the anomaly with it when I've been playing. I've not encountered anybody else, and I do see people posting images of it in Reddit, and they've either captured mine when I've been in the anomaly or the other guy, and there might be a few others by now. But see here, you just, that's that it's not unlimited glide, but it's that boost glide mod that gives me that. So I got to be really careful here to get off to the side and see how quickly that responds. So see here, I've already claimed it, but right there is the ray. So, and then the new multi-tool is here as well. Now see, that's the thing. It only gives you an opportunity to exchange, and I don't want to do that yet. What I'd rather do, because I have all of mine archived and I've only got one, what I'd really rather do, and maybe we'll do this right now, is, oops, I thought it was mine for a minute. See, that's a red and black Starborn runner, but that is because I have the mod that converts it to that color. Alright? So all other Starborn runners are going to look the same. We're going to take this guy out. See, there's somebody there looking at it. And we're going to go to the... well, you know what? Let's see if they'll fight me, because I do want to show you. Alright, so let's have some fun here.
Hostile ships approaching.
Oh shoot, you know what I just realized? That's not a good idea. I have not redone my mapping. So I've got to hide. And actually, this is a great thing. I mentioned this early on. I had a problem yesterday where I caused my game to crash. And so what happened was, and I don't mean just crash, my mod working stopped working entirely. And it didn't matter what I did even after removing it, it fucked something up in the game. So I had to uninstall the game and reinstall the game. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to fix that. I'm going to go up here, that way if other people want to go and look at the star chip while I'm doing this. So you go to your options and you go to controls, all right, and you remap the controls. And if you come down to where you go to your flight controls and you scroll down to where, there it is, see, combat hold, that's the S key. You don't want that. So reassign that to the back button on your mouse. You see, so that's not the forward, the back button on the mouse. And that's good. And then what you need to do also is change your to where you cycle your next weapon. Previous target, closest target, free look. Let's see. Change weapon mode. That's on G? No. Change that as well to where it's the forward button. Alright? That way it's not mapped to the letter G. One locks and one changes. Oh, and that's also my problem, or my mistake. Also, you need to do the same thing for when you're walking on the ground. So you remap control, and here on foot, you want to do the same thing to where you're going to change your reload weapon from R, change that to your forward mouse button, and switch weapon to back. So one is forward and one is back. That way you don't even have to use buttons. Everything is always on your mouse. With that done, we're done. All right. And you do have a mod that increases the likelihood of later battles by 50%. I don't think anybody's going to try to scam me again, but since I'm going to want to show some of these mods as well, one of the mods that I was really happy to find is this, what's it? It's called Winder Interstellar Hole. And there's a bigger name for it. It's BBBB something that's like better black hole. But all I want to show is that mod working so you can see the difference. And it still has the glitch where if you look at it head on after you arrive, there's another mod here, short arrival messages. This should be gone in about a second. There it is. So you can see there's the mod or the black hole. What I want to do is kind of turn parallel to it and move away. That's pulse speed, but with what they call micro lines. So you can see there's the black hole off in the distance. We're going to kind of go towards it, but a little low. There's also another mod here called Better Pulse Drive Aim, and you can see now. That's what that looks like. I'm not going to pulse to it. I can't now because I'm in its gravitational pull. But what's great about this is as you get closer to the mod, or closer to the black hole. Now, I did have another mod that hasn't come in yet where what it does is it changes your asteroid fills to ribbons, which makes it really much easier to fly through without taking any collisions. And I will put that back in once I have an opportunity to find it. The colored rings is not currently working, and that's something I'm going to have to look at because I thought that was one of the mods that I put in and it was working a while ago, so it's weird that it's not. But you can see now that's looking more and more like the black hole you'd see from the movie Interstellar, or from one of those images you see on the wall. You can see the hole, and that's what I was hoping for. As you get closer to it, it begins to look like stars are being sucked into it. If you sit here and watch, you can see those stars kind of moving towards the center. So it really gives a pretty cool effect. We're going to go ahead and get out of here and head back to my freighter. And I want to see here because I could have sworn I had extracted the better color rays and they were working. So I need to go back and figure out what happened there because that is a mod that has not been released yet. But what I have been playing around with is the PS Arc tool. And what PS Arc does, it allows you to extract the contents from the pack files in the old mods. And then you can put those contents into a folder and copy. Here we go, here we go. So we're going to release my quadrant. And we're just going to take these guys on straight in. Way out. Gonna have to hit the freighter.
Hostile ships defeated.
Oops.
Navigational data received.
Okay, so that's what I want to figure out, is we're going to go back to my settings. Yeah, and there's still some tweaking on this particular starship I'm going to have to do, because when I warp into some place, if it changes direction to another direction other than what I had it pointed at, then I know that my sensitivity for how responsive the maneuverability is on this is too high. So I'll have to go back in and change that. And even that, just the ability to slow down, there's something that has to be tweaked yet. Now, see, this is... I don't know why sometimes it's not landing. That's okay. We're going to quit out of here, and I'm going to go into the save editor, because there is something weird with the way that ship is still too maneuverable, and I want to show you how to troubleshoot these things, right? Well, come on now. Okay, so we go back into the save editor, and this is just from the desktop. I've got a shortcut for it. Go full screen again. Open up that save, which is my slot 2. And then go to the ship, that was the Wraith. And you can see that maneuverability is set at 37. And I kind of get an idea why it might be as well, because all of those, yeah, only what needs to be supercharged, which is my singularity cores and my spewing vents, my weapon. That's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this down to a 30. Let's try like a 33. And then file save that. That should correct that. All right. And I don't think I'll need to make any more changes to it, but that is something that when you're changing these, you'll see that if I look like at my Starborn runner, that's at 42. My shields are at 122. The damage here is at 920. I actually raised these to match them to the way that the Wraith initially came out. 10, that's I'm going to put to 110. I'm going to keep that at 42,000, 720. Yep, and save change. Right? So that's in. And then with that change, I'd be able to go in, and that should change my responsiveness of that starship. So we're going to try this real quick. And actually, I'll look at some real quick. Under mods. Yeah, see, that is in there. I don't know why it's not reading it when earlier it was. So something changed from before. And I'm not quite sure what that is, because what happened is as soon as I left the space station and fled into space, I saw colored rooms. And now I'm not seeing them. And so I'm wondering what changed that took them away. Because it doesn't appear as if anything else has stopped working. There is a mod out right now for a more colorful star field, and it's supposed to make the colors more vivid for the red, green, blue, purple stars. I'm kind of liking the way the colors are in the game right now, so I don't want to throw that one up. And they haven't, although Exosolar has dropped the base building, I haven't seen not a star map yet, and he makes that as well. And so that's what I want to wait for, because that actually is a better star map than the one that you get in the game by default. Now let's see, let's pop out here. And see, my rings are still gray. They're not in color. I don't understand why that's not working when it was earlier. And you know what I'm curious about is they made the ocean world really, really deep, but I don't think they're going to change any of the stuff from out here. Yeah, and see, there's another mod I'm waiting to drop called Transparent Water, which really changes the way the water looks too. That hasn't dropped. So there's a few of them that I'm still waiting to get, but Black Space and Nebula is working, Crescent Worlds is working, the 10 times the pulse speed, which is great for when you want to race down to the surface of a planet. And this is not a starship I'm used to flying, so I remember earlier I was saying slowing down, it's not really responsive. We'll find out here. See, that's how I'm used to touching down. So just that little bit of adjustment makes it really easy. Now, there used to be a flamethrower that hasn't dropped yet, but this is that mod for unlimited flights. It's not unlimited flight, but you do get a good boost. All right, and one of the things that I'm curious, do I have it in? Yes, I do. This nutrient ingester. See, the perpetual ice cream gives you a 320% boost to your jetpacks. So you can see, man, I get a good throw from that. And you can see it's not depleting terribly fast. So you can really gain some altitude. But the cool thing about this mod is called Boost Glide. Watch what happens when I start. If I stop flying and I just move forward, glide. So I can move quite a bit of distance. Like here, if I want to go higher again, I just hit my booster. And then I just glide. Okay. So it's kind of like a hand gliding function almost, and that's not too bad. I don't mind that. You can still do your melee attack to fly and gain some speed. I don't usually use that very often, especially when the epic mod is around. No, you do have enhanced movement, so you can move faster. Right? And then from here, I can launch, I can turn to the sky, I can hit pulse, and I'm out of the atmosphere just like that. So what I'm going to do here is just summon my freighter, and then I'm going to stop this recording because the main thing I wanted to show, of course, is the true black, and then go through how to build your starships, and I've done. And I've shown a few more things, so I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to keep putting these mods together. You can see right there, I changed my landing pads with mods to the landing pads that are in the space stations. And then because Exosolar's base building, or Beyond base building, is in, all of this stuff that I can normally, now that is missing. I'm going to have to figure out why, because I'm missing a hex plate bush. Might have to replant there, that should be there. I might have inadvertently deleted it, but you can see I've got all my tiles around here on the floor, and then because I thought I had updated these to have like this here up in the ceiling, because I'm old retired Coast Guard, and we're used to port starboard being green. It's not really a bright green. I wish it was a different color. And then red. After I've made yellow, and forward I've made blue. So if I go up a deck, the same thing applies. Blue or starboard. But see how I put those up top? And I did the same thing here. Here. So I really need to make the same thing happen down on the main deck. I don't know why I didn't. I could have sworn I did it to all of these, but I can take care of this in others. No, because I haven't deleted those lights. That's why. So I'll have to get rid of those. But with that, I'm going to stop this. There you get a better look at that black in the game as opposed to the color that was assigned earlier. And then another thing I wanted to show you while I had this chance. This thing here. This allows me to manage my settlement from here on my freighter. I don't have to go to the ground. So with that, I'm going to stop this stream and leave this recording up. I will keep working on the mods, and as I get further along, I'll share the link out to where you can get those. And I'll put them on my Microsoft OneDrive because there is no password requirement there. With that, I'm going to stop this. Thanks for watching.